I just spent 1,500 bucks on a bunch of computer parts. One caveat though, it's all untested, but I'm 99% sure I can trust the seller. So let's see what I got and let's test it all out. My first glance, we got 1 desktop, 2 desktop, 3, 4, and 5. So let's start there and then we will test all the separate parts. Well, let's start with this bad boy here. This is probably the newest of all the desktops I got. I'm going in with the mindset that everything will work. Obviously, everything might not work with it being untested, but I'm hoping it all does. Okay, the fans spin. There is no cooler on the CPU. Let's at least get a post. Hey, let's go! 1 for 1, baby. At the end of the video, I will take all of these apart and we will go deep dive into like all the parts I got. But for now, let's just finish testing everything. Two for 2, baby. This one has a little water cooler in it and some LEDs. Three for 3, baby. Got that Wendy's 4 for 4. The 5th desktop, let's go. Let's see if this one works. Moment of truth, flip the power switch, hit the power button, step back, fans are spinning. Let's go, baby, 5 for 5, we're on a roll. All 5 of the desktops work, which is amazing because they're basically all fully built computers, minus a couple storage drives, and obviously the cases aren't the best looking. Next on the agenda is this box of motherboard, and this box of motherboards with some graphics cards as well. I'm a bit weary of these, mainly because they've just been like stacked on top of each other, really no protective cover. So that first box had 5 of these motherboards. They're all 4th gen Intel, and I only paid 80 bucks for this out of this whole bundle, but 5 motherboards for 80 bucks. All of them came with RAM. This is gonna be insane. Correction, these 4 are 4th gen, this one is a 3rd gen, and it has a 3rd gen i7. Moment of truth. And we get nothing. I saw that one flash red. I think that's a memory button or a memory light. I see right away what it is. That RAM stick isn't clicked in all the way. Still nothing. Trying one RAM stick. Okay, I put a new RAM stick in there and we're getting the same result. I'm gonna try a different CPU now. So I just took the CPU out. You can kind of see that. I'm not sure if it's a bent pin or just some dust. I'm gonna try to blow that out. Okay, so it was just a little piece of dust. Honestly, that could have been the culprit. Okay, I tried a different CPU because the i7 wasn't working. Right now it's an i3-2100. Either this CPU is dead or this 2nd/3rd gen motherboard doesn't support 3rd gen CPU. So we got a half win on this one. We got a working motherboard and we got an 8GB kit of DDR3 and possibly a broken CPU. So everyone spam half win in the comments. Moving on, got the fan to spin on this one. Won't boot, not from the GPU or the CPU. I had to try a different RAM. This one wouldn't work at all. This original CPU wouldn't work. So I think we have just a shit show right here. I'm an idiot. I didn't even have this plugged in. Let's do that and rethink what I just said about this. Boom, works first try. Yay. Boom, 3rd one works. Crazy what happens when you plug everything in. 4th one works. Let's go. And this 5th one worked. So far everything is working other than this little CPU, but I'm not even 100% sure that this is broken. And also with those motherboards, we got the IO shields. Now to test this cardboard box out. We got 4 more motherboards and 7 graphics cards. 3 GTX 970s, 2 RX 480s, and then 2 580s. First motherboard up is another 4th gen one, but this one came with a 4th gen i7, which is pretty good. And it works. Huge freaking W! We have another 4th gen i7, but this one's on one of those Z97 motherboards, which is like a way nicer version of the 4th gen, even has an M.2 slot. And we're golden, baby! This is a Z170 motherboard with an i7 6700. So now we're gonna need some DDR4. Good thing I have plenty. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, this one has some lights, and I think it's gonna work.
12 seconds later.
Indeed it does. Last one up is another Z170, and it looks like it has a 6th gen i5. All those motherboards work. That is a huge W. Let's go. We got a total of 9 motherboards for pretty cheap, and they all work. Now let's test these GPUs out. So these are the two 580s. Those are 8GB versions, and these are the two 480s, and those are also the 8GB versions. 1W, 2W, 3W. This one doesn't appear to be working. There's a blue LED light next to the PCIe plug, and that's on. I don't think that's a good sign. Hey, 3 out of the 4 AMD cards are working. That's a fat W. I didn't want to bore you guys, but all 3 of the 970s are working. Only one of the graphics cards is broken, so I put that in the broken pile next to the 3rd gen i7. We have one more box to test. And this box is definitely the least fun box, but look at all that RAM. These are all 8GB sticks. Half of it is DDR4 and the other half is DDR3. And then also, I got 10 of these MSI RGB fans, and we also got a ton of these little power cords. Can never have enough of these. And then we also got a pretty good amount of power supplies. I think I got 5 or 6. Everything is tested and almost working out. Here's the broken pile. We have 1 dead GPU, 1 dead RAM stick, 2 faulty power supplies. I just used a power supply tester to test them out, and they failed the test. And we have the possibly dead i7-3770. Overall, not bad considering the amount of stuff we got. To be honest, I was expecting more broken parts. But not everything is sunshine and rainbows. I made a mistake by not price checking the GPUs before I bought them. So unfortunately, I overpaid for all of them by a substantial amount. I paid $50 each for the 970s, and they go for around $30 on eBay. For the 580s, I paid $70 each, and those go for right around 50 bucks. And same story for the 480s. I paid $60 each, and they are roughly the same price as the 580s. But everything else I got it for a pretty good price, in my opinion. The first PC I paid 150 bucks. It has a Ryzen 7 1700, RX 560 4GB version, 8GB of RAM, a pretty nice Asus B450 motherboard, Corsair power supply, and it even came with 2 Noctua fans, and those are around 17 bucks each. Next PC was $100. It has an i7 6700, 32GB of RAM, 120mm AIO, and a GTX 970, also a 850 watt power supply, SSD, and a hard drive. This is probably the best PC out of the bunch, price to performance wise. Then for $70, we got this computer. It has a 8th gen i5, 16GB of RAM, and a RX 550 2GB version. Also picked up this Dell XPS system. I love these because they are super simple to case swap. I paid $50 and it came with a 6th gen i5 and 8GB of RAM. The last and final PC is a nice budget rig. Coming in at another $50, it has a 6th gen i5 which is being cooled by 120mm AIO, 16GB of RAM, and a GTX 960 2GB version. So that was the PCs. The first 5 motherboards were all $16 each, and they all came with CPUs and RAM. These 3 motherboards were $60 each. 2 are Z170 motherboards with 6th gen i5 and an i7. The other one is a Z97 with a 4th gen i7. And the final motherboard is just a B85 motherboard with another 4th gen i7. And I paid 50 bucks for that one. Wrapping all the parts up, we have the power supplies. They were $20 each. The RAM was $30 a kit for a DDR4 and $15 a kit for DDR3. And the best for last, the ARGB fans. I got 10 of them for $60 and 2 ARGB controllers. Other than me overpaying for the GPUs, I'm pretty happy with everything else I got, and I should definitely be able to make all my money back and more. Rate this haul down below 1 out of 10, and if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button, subscribe if you loved it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace!